quiz is posted both as a doc and as a PDF file. It's due Sunday before, well, by 11:59 p.m. Okay, we have covered all the content of the course, of the chapter, I mean. And so today we're just going over everything in preparation for your quiz. And then we'll review the quiz on Tuesday. And that gives us Tuesday and Thursday to clear up any misconceptions, any things that aren't clear to us for the quiz, which will be due the following Sunday, or test, following Sunday. Look, understanding this chart is 90% of the chapter, right? So on this line, I'm assuming that this is true and that is true. And for a conjunction when the parts are true, the whole thing is true. When the first is true and the second is false, it's false. Vice versa, it's false. If both are false, it's false. For a disjunction, if both are true, it's true. If the first is true and the second is true, it's still true. Vice versa, it's still true. The only time a disjunction is false is when both disjuncts are false. Okay? On the conditional, if the antecedent is true and the consequent is true, it's true. If the antecedent is true and the consequent is false, it's false. If the antecedent is false and the consequent is true, it's true. If the antecedent is false and the consequent is false, it's true. So the only time the conditional is false is when the antecedent is true and the consequent is false. Over here in the biconditional, if these two parts have the same truth value, it's true. Otherwise, it's false. See, true is true, true false is false, false true is false, and false false is true. And of course, if the box were true, not box would be false. And if box is false, not box would be true. Okay? Understanding and being able to apply that is 90% of this chapter, right? And it's straightforward, it's open book, so you should be able to, well, I want everyone to get A's on this, okay? All right, so I'm just going to go over some problems from each of the relevant sections, okay? So I'm going to start with 3.1, and remember in 3.1, this is where you're calculating the truth value of a complex statement given truth values of the parts, okay? So we are told that statement constants A, B, and C, those are true, and constants X, Y, and Z, those are false. And then you're supposed to calculate a large complex statement based on those assumptions. So I'm looking at number 9 from 3.1, okay? Because it's big, okay? And what do we have? We have A and not B, then C. And close that. If and only if A and B, and then or A and C. Okay. So that's the expression, and I have to calculate the truth value of it. So one of the things I should look for is what's the main logical operator? It's right here. So that's the very last operation. When I do that operation, that's what gives me my answer, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the truth values as they've been assigned. A, B, and C are true, X, Y, and Z are false. So what I have is true and not true, then true, if and only if true and true. Oh, these all true things. True and true. Okay. So now in general you work from inside the brackets out, but you always eliminate any negations that you can, okay? And we can eliminate this negation right away because it only applies to this, right? It doesn't apply to something that we have to figure out first. So this actually is going to be false right there, okay? And so now let me work the parts that I can. So first thing I'd have to do is inside here, false, then true. Look over there, that's line 3, where the first part is false and the second part is true. We're dealing with the conditional, so look over to the conditional and you discover it's true. So I'll write the result under the operator so I know that this is the result of that, okay? And then I'm gonna drop everything else down. Now I'm going to do this because this is inside this parentheses, true and true. That's line 1 where both parts are true. I look at the conjunction and it tells me that this is true. So I'm going to write that down under the operator. And then I have a true and true again. We just discovered that was true. And this is or, okay? So that's my second pass. So now I can do this operation, right? And so true and true, that's line 1, and the and gets me true. So all of this is true over here, if and only if. I have true or true, that's line 1, go over to the or, and we discover it's what? True. So my final calculation is true, if and only if true, which is true. So we know that this statement is true. Everybody understand? I guess we should do something that has some falses in it too. So let me do number 8. But these kinds of calculations, that you should be able to do these with your eyes closed, okay? Because it's just using that. Okay. So 8. We have not. Was that thunder?
I got it was thunder.
Not A or X, if and only if not A and not X. Okay. We gotta put in the truth values, so we have not, and A is true, or X is false, if and only if not true and not false, okay? So let me get rid of the negations that I can. I cannot get rid of this negation because I have to calculate this first. And you can't just reverse those items inside. Does everybody understand that? Do not do that. You might get lucky, but most of the time you're going to get the wrong answer. Okay, so I can't do anything about this, but I can do, so let me just rewrite this. True or false, if and only if. Not true is false, and not false is true, okay? So I eliminated those negations. Can I do anything about this yet? No, but I can calculate in here. So true or false is true, and we have a negation outside. If and only if false and true is false, okay? Now I can get rid of this negation. So not true is false, so I end up with false if and only if false, which is what? True. Any questions about these very simple, calculate the truth value of the statement? Okay, this should be very simple. Okay, so 3.2 deals with problems where we have unknowns, okay? So in the and the format will be the same on the quiz and on the test. A, B, and C will always be true, X, Y, and Z will always be false. L, M, and N, these are unknowns, okay? And when I give you one of these problems, you calculate the truth value if you can determine it, and if you can determine it, you tell me what it is. And if you cannot determine it, then you tell me that the truth value is unknown, okay? So, let me pick a problem to do. We didn't do number 7 at all, did we? Anyone? 7? No? Okay. So, let's do 7 because it looks big. Okay, 7, L or, and I think it's a big bracket, B or M, B or M, close that, and A and C, close that. Okay, I think I got it right. Okay, so now we have to substitute in values according to this. So L is unknown, so I'll just put a question mark here, and I'm gonna put a 1. This is the first unknown we've come across. Or B is true, and M is an unknown, so I'll put a little question mark here and 2. This is to differentiate this unknown from that unknown. And A is true, and Z is false. Okay, so we need to work from inside the brackets out. So the very first thing that I could work on is this. Okay, so this unknown could be true on the one hand, or it could be false on the other. Okay, but this part is always true. So let's think about what happens